Everything's getting expensive now these days.
It has been a different feeling with people over the past few years.
People not spend like before.
The brakes are slowly being squeezed on Australia's economy. Households are becoming accustomed to higher prices, bigger housing costs, and for some, a rising threat of job insecurity.
It's maybe not going in the right direction for a lot of people on average wages or below average wages.
Meat, that's too expensive. Even the veggies are expensive.
So people are cutting back where they can, and that's hurting some businesses, like this florist. She's just had her worst Valentine's Day trade in almost 10 years of business.
This year we sell less than last year. And I heard like every florist say the same. They're not buying like last year.
Other business owners are cutting costs where they can.
I work in the business myself on the shop floor 5 to 6 days a week, so that's where I keep things quite tight with wages.
Some experts say we're likely experiencing the bottom of the economic cycle.
We think that households and the economy more broadly is going through the weakest point right now.
But that doesn't mean life is about to get easier for those doing it tough straight away.
I think that this year will actually feel a bit more difficult for households, despite the fact that we're probably not going to get any more rate hikes from here and that inflation's going to slow. I think that the outlook for the consumer in 2024 looks more challenging than it did last year.
While the latest reading of inflation remained steady, it came in lower than expected at 3.4% in the 12 months to January, driven by housing, food and drink, insurance and finances. ANZ says the just-passed revised Stage 3 tax cuts, due to begin mid-year, will help with the higher cost of living.
We think that for households this will be equivalent to around about 2 25 basis point rate cuts over that 24-25 financial year.
But economists are mixed on the full impact.
That fiscal burden is actually the highest in Australia that it's been at for a number of years. The tax changes that start from the 1st of July are quite minimal, really, in the scheme of things.
So economists and households will be looking for interest rate cuts from the Reserve Bank too. Next week's GDP data release will be key to seeing how much the economy slowed through 2023, with the risk it could have contracted in the December quarter. That will put pressure on the Reserve Bank to consider cutting rates earlier than expected.
By the time we get to the middle of the year, we'll see the unemployment rate at about 4.5%. And we see about 3 rate cuts in this current year.
We're expecting a fairly shallow easing cycle with about 75 basis points of cuts between November this year and mid-2025.
As most downturns in history show, consumers still like to treat themselves, and that's helping sales at this 25-year-old record store.
It's a little gift. It's like buying a book or something for yourself, isn't it? And there's people do that once a month or once a week even. So, yeah, they're still treating themselves to a small thing.
A little treat in tough times.